There will come a time in your life when nothing seems to make sense. You'll pray and hear nothing. You'll work hard and see no results. You'll give your heart, your strength, and your effort to something that suddenly crumbles in front of you. You'll look up and ask, God, why? Why did that door close? Why did that person walk away? Why did that dream fall apart after I gave it everything I had? But listen carefully. Just because it feels like silence doesn't mean God has forgotten you. Just because you can't see the plan doesn't mean there isn't one. Faith isn't about seeing what's ahead. It's about trusting who's guiding you through it. The same God who led you into the storm is the one who will lead you out of it stronger, wiser, and more complete than before. God's timing is never late. It's never early. It's perfect. But perfection requires patience. And that's where most people give up. They think waiting means nothing is happening. But waiting is never wasted when it's in God's hands. While you're waiting, He's working. While you're doubting, He's designing. While you're crying, He's constructing something you can't even imagine yet. Sometimes God will delay your plans because He's protecting you from something you can't see. Sometimes He will allow pain to teach you what comfort never could. Sometimes He will close a door not because He's punishing you, but because He's preparing you for something greater. Every closed door carries the fingerprints of divine protection. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, sold as a slave, falsely accused. Thrown into prison, he had every reason to believe God had abandoned him. Yet Joseph didn't lose faith. He didn't let bitterness take root in his heart. He believed that God was still writing his story, even in the darkest chapter. And when the time was right, Joseph rose from the pit to the palace. What looked like punishment was actually preparation. That's how God works. He doesn't waste pain. He transforms it. He doesn't ignore tears. He collects them. Every setback you face today is a setup for something extraordinary tomorrow, but only if you refuse to give up before the breakthrough. The truth is, faith isn't built in comfort, it's built in conflict. It's easy to trust when life is going your way. It's easy to praise when everything feels smooth, but real faith is forged when nothing goes according to plan and you still choose to believe. When you're in that place of confusion, when your prayers seem unanswered, remind yourself, God is not punishing you. He's positioning you. You are not being buried, you are being planted. The soil may be dark, but the seed must go into darkness before it can rise into light. So keep the faith, even when the night feels endless, because morning always comes. It always does. When life feels like it's falling apart, it's actually falling into place. God's plan is bigger than your pain, greater than your fears, and deeper than your understanding. His ways are higher than your ways. His thoughts are higher than your thoughts. What feels like rejection is often redirection. Sometimes God will remove things from your life, not because they were bad, but because they were too small for where He's taking you. He knows what you need to grow. He knows what you must lose to find what's real. Trust His pruning process. It hurts, but it's holy. When you pray, you may not always get what you want, but you will always get what you need. Because God doesn't respond to impatience, He responds to faith. And faith isn't proven when you receive. It's proven when you wait. You might say, but I've been waiting for years. Then wait with faith, not frustration. Because delay is not denial. God never breaks His promises. He fulfills them when the moment is right. You may not understand the reason now, but one day you'll look back and say, thank you, God, for not giving me what I wanted. Thank you for giving me what I needed. When you learn to trust in God's plan, anxiety loses its grip. You stop trying to control outcomes. You stop comparing timelines. You stop questioning your worth. You simply walk by faith, one step at a time, believing that every step, even the painful ones, are leading you somewhere beautiful. The story of Moses is a perfect reminder. As a child, his mother had to let him go, placing him in a basket on a river to save his life. It seemed hopeless, yet that river carried him straight into destiny. Raised in Pharaoh's palace, rejected by his own people, exiled to the wilderness, every stage of Moses' journey looked uncertain, but every step was a divine setup. When the time came, God used him to free an entire nation. That's what happens when you trust the process. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment is actually direction. God uses the very things you think are breaking you to build you. The truth is, God doesn't show you the whole path, because if He did, you might run away. He reveals it piece by piece, moment by moment, step by step, not to confuse you, but to teach you how to depend on Him. He wants you to walk by faith, not by sight. When you understand that, peace becomes your companion. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Use me." You stop fearing the unknown and start trusting the one who knows. Maybe today you feel stuck in a chapter that makes no sense, but the author isn't finished. God never starts something He doesn't plan to complete. Your job isn't to understand the plot, it's to trust the writer. Remember Jeremiah's promise. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." That verse isn't a cliche, it's a covenant. It's God saying, "I've got you. Even when you don't see the way forward, I'm still guiding your steps. So hold your head up, even when it hurts, even when it's hard, even when the world tells you it's over. Because when God is in control, nothing is ever truly over. He is the God of new beginnings, the God of resurrection, the God of redemption. Maybe the storm you're facing isn't there to destroy you but to reveal you. Maybe the delay you're experiencing is God's way of strengthening your character for the destiny ahead. Faith doesn't mean everything will go right. It means you'll be all right, even when everything goes wrong. Because your strength doesn't come from circumstance. It comes from trust, and trust anchored in God never fails. When you understand that, you stop chasing validation from the world. You stop begging for doors to open that aren't meant for you. You stop doubting your journey. Because you know that if God closes one door, He's already opened another one, just not in your sight yet. You'll realize that unanswered prayers are not punishments, they're protection. And the moment you start trusting that truth, your peace returns. Because the goal of faith isn't to avoid pain, it's to find purpose in it. God never wastes a wound. The scar you carry might be the testimony someone else needs to hear. The very thing that hurt you could be the thing that heals others. So stay strong, stay faithful, stay patient. God is writing a masterpiece, and your life is the canvas. The shadows, the colors, the details, they all matter. Every brushstroke has a reason. He's not finished with you yet. There comes a moment when faith feels like standing in the dark with no sign of light ahead. You've prayed, you've cried, you've done everything right, and yet nothing moves. You start to wonder if God is listening, if your story still matters. But let me tell you something. When God is silent, He is never absent. Silence is not rejection, it's preparation. God's greatest works are often done in the quiet. When you think nothing is happening, heaven is moving pieces you can't see. The delay you're living through isn't denial, it's divine alignment. The timing isn't wrong, you're just being refined. Every trial you face builds the strength your purpose requires. Every unanswered prayer shapes your faith. The waiting is where your trust grows, roots deep enough to hold the blessings to come. If you were given everything too early, it would destroy you. God slows you down because He's preparing what's ahead and protecting what's within. Joseph was betrayed, forgotten, and imprisoned, yet that pit became the path to his promise. David was anointed long before he became king. Moses wandered before leading a nation. Even Jesus waited 30 years before his public purpose began. Every delay carries destiny in disguise. So don't lose heart. You're not stuck, you're being shaped. The storm is not there to destroy you, but to define you. The same fire that tests gold is the fire that purifies it. The pain that breaks your heart may be the pressure that births your calling. Faith isn't proven by what you see. It's proven by what you keep believing when you see nothing. And real faith says, God, even if you don't show me the way, I'll still walk with you. That kind of trust unlocks peace no storm can steal. You may feel hidden right now, but hidden seasons are holy seasons. When God hides you, He's healing you. When He slows you down, He's saving you from something that isn't ready yet. He's aligning people, preparing doors, and building a future that fits your purpose perfectly. And when the time comes, everything that didn't make sense will suddenly fall into place. The pieces will connect. The tears will make sense. The pain will find purpose. Because God never wastes what you've been through. He redeems it. So today, lift your eyes again. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where God needs you to be. Stop worrying about the how and start trusting the who. The same God who parted the sea will make a way for you. The same God who raised the dead can resurrect what you thought was over. Your story isn't ending, it's just beginning. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll realize the strength you gained in it was the true miracle all along. God's timing is never wrong, His plan is never flawed, and His love never fails. So trust Him, even now, especially now. Because when you trust God, you don't just survive, you rise.